Hi, I'm Kevin Motley at the Motley Law Firm. One of the most common cases that we handle in our firm involve brain injuries. So we represent traumatic brain injury survivors who've had an injury in some sort of accident, and we go to court for them and help them prove their case, which involves proving that they've got a brain injury and how it has affected and changed their life. So what sort of evidence does one need in order to prove that they have a brain injury and that it's really affected their life in a way that makes it worthwhile to even go to court? Well, I'll do my best to answer that very quickly. Number one, you need to have evidence of what happened in this accident that might have caused you to suffer a brain injury. So pictures of the accident, pictures of the windshield that's been broken by perhaps somebody's head hitting it, pictures of the person's face, if they have cuts or lacerations on their head showing that there was a blow to the head, which is not necessarily required to have a traumatic brain injury. You really just need some sort of a force that causes the brain inside the skull to move around and become injured. But if you do have evidence of a blunt force trauma to the head, that's great evidence that you would need to preserve. So photographs, evidence of what happened in the crash or the accident are important. The second thing is medical evidence. You will need doctors to come in and say that they believe that you suffered a traumatic brain injury. And it would help if these doctors have experience in making that sort of a diagnosis. So you just don't need that, though. You really need to have evidence of a continued pattern of treatment for the brain injury following the incident. And it helps if that pattern of being treated is not interrupted. So if a person has received a brain injury and they are having symptoms, they need to get treated, and they need to keep doing what the doctor has suggested they do and doing everything they can do to get better. So having a continued pattern of medical treatment, that sort of evidence is very helpful. Another big one, and this is what I think is the biggest and most important piece of evidence in a brain injury case, is having a supporting cast of fact witnesses, people who know the person and knew them before the incident and have known them since the incident, and can come to court and can talk about how they've observed how the injury has changed the person's life. That, in my opinion, is the most important evidence in these cases, is to have that supporting cast of hopefully unbiased witnesses who really don't have any dog in the fight. They just know the person and they have observed them from before and after the incident, so they can testify as to what they've seen. So those are just three of the real big categories of evidence that you need in a traumatic brain injury case to prove your case. I hope this has been helpful. We have tons of information on our website about this very topic, so I encourage you to hang around and read as much as you can. Thanks a lot.